Welcome to Monkeys Unfiltered, the podcast where chaos meets conversation, and the unexpected is always on the menu. Join hosts Leanne, Jason, and Hayden as they swing through life's absurd, hilarious, and thought-provoking moments. No topic is too wild, no opinion is too untamed. Get ready for unfiltered banter, laughs, and a barrel of fun. This is Monkeys Unfiltered.
Hi, and welcome to this edition of Monkeys Unfiltered. I'm Mama Monkey, Leanne, and I'm here with my two monkeys, middle monkey, Jason, and youngest monkey, Hayden. How are you guys today?
I am devastated. I got news
my
recently that my wife's car is going to cost quite a bit of money to fix after we just fixed my car for arguably a significantly less amount of money, but still a lot to somebody in our position.
You guys might want to buy some bicycles.
That's what it's looking like we're going to need to do.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good. Not anything crazy like that going on. Tell you that much.
Good.
Well, hopefully the car situation gets settled pretty easily, quickly, and doesn't hurt your pocketbook too much. And
hope.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping maybe today's episode will give you a couple of, maybe some laughs when we get down to it, but I'm hoping to kind of put y'all's brains into gear today and do a little deep dive into what you may know as the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, which is actually, which is really just the 6 degrees of separation. It's the idea that all people are 6 or fewer social connections away from one another. And I thought we might spend some time today exploring where that theory originates and how it's used in everyday life today, and you may not even realize it. And then, of course, we can do a little Kevin Bacon fun. Y'all in?
Kevin Bacon.
I love fun with bacon, whether it be Kevin man. or thick cut. I mean, whatever we're looking
I just like bacon.
Applewood.
Bacon.
I just like bacon, whether it's with Kevin or not. So anyways, so do you guys know anything about the 6 degrees of separation? You know anything about the theory behind the 6 degrees of separation?
I have heard of it. I've never really I've never really dove too much into it.
I was trying not to laugh. Divin.
Hey man, shut up.
No, forget that. I'm laughing every time. I'm funny.
Low on energy and I'm low on food. Brain not all there today.
You got the hangries, Hayden?
But I haven't really looked too much into it. Like, I know what it is. I think it's a crazy phenomenon, like, to think about, though, because, like, you think about everybody's just so closely connected and you don't realize it.
Yeah, because you don't think about it. You don't think you are. People always say, like the world is a big old place and go out and explore. It's a small world after all. Yeah, no. I'm going to have nightmares now. Thank you very much. But that was kind of the whole theory behind this. And I did do a little bit of research before we came on today. And I stumbled across a couple of writings that apparently this dates way back to like the early 1900s. I think it was like the mid 1920s, and some Hungarian guy who I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because that would just be rude, wrote this short story called Chains. And what it was about, it was a chain of events and how people are connected and how something happens in your world, but it also has an effect in someone else's world. Like, did you ever see that movie? What is the movie with Will Smith?
I Am Legend.
No.
Isn't it called 6 Degrees?
No, it's not, was it? So he has one called 7 Pounds, I know, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. But maybe the name of this movie is just called Crash. And it's about how all these people they're involved in this crash, obviously, but how they're all kind of connected to one another. And so it kind of plays off of this whole theory too about that, the whole concept of, for every action, there is a reaction and how that goes out into the world. But one of the other things that I ran across that I thought was kind of interesting is way back like 50 some odd years ago, like when I was a wee baby.
I will say, don't act like
A
you weren't
wee
around
baby.
I was going to say the year, but then I was like, no, don't do that.
Get in my belly. I love my baby back, baby back, baby back ribs.
Wow.
then.
I'm not really sure what that has to do with anything, but okay.
That's a 6 degree of separation right there. That's an Austin Powers callback.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No, but check it out. In the late 60s, there was a psychologist. I think his name was Milgram. He wanted to really kind of test this theory. And so he got together a group of people who live in Kansas, maybe, and Nebraska, I know for sure. I think there were like 1,500 participants. And so they were given these small packages and a list of names and a general location of where this person might be in Boston. And they had to try to get the package to that person. And they wound up like 90% of the packages delivered in under 6 movements, which kind of really gave the whole spark to this thing. So I don't know. I just found that really interesting. And different people have picked it up and done different things with it. And I'll slaughter this guy's name too. But he's the guy. He is, his last name is spelled Tjaden.
I would pronounce that Jaden.
I thought so too, but I didn't want to slaughter it. But he's the conceptual person behind that internet movie what do you call it? IMDb. And all of that is done.
That movie.
Yeah.
The movie stuff.
Yeah. And all of that is done off of the 6 degree thing, which I just thought was crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See, I never knew that about IMDb. I always thought it was just a movie database. I mean, like, these people have been in this movie consisted of this characters. There you go.
Right. Well, but if you think about it, that's how it works. This person is connected to this person through this movie, through this package delivery, right, through this. I mean, we kind of talked off air about this episode, when we were having our strategy meeting, and I said to you guys, like, I could do it myself. So I could say, and this is truth. I dated someone who is friends with Nick Offerman, and I could take Nick Offerman and splinter a bunch of ways. Like, he was in The Millers with Jennifer Aniston, who used to be married to Brad
Pitt.
Chris
Pratt. You go Chris Pratt. You go nowhere else.
Right. But I could go the other way and say Nick Offerman is married to Megan Mullally, who used to be on Will and Grace, that also starred Sean Hayes, who is on another podcast called Smartless with Jason Bateman, who, was on one of the greatest TV shows ever, The Ozarks. So it's just that craziness of how you find yourself connected to people. But then I ask myself, like, I'm not picking up the phone and going, yo, Nick, right? We're not friends like that. I just know somebody who knows him. I
don't know that I could, like, connect anybody in my life like that. Like,
really?
Off the top of my head. Yeah. When I was thinking about it, the only person I really thought about was the connection to Nick Offerman. Mm-hmm. But off the top of my head, not really. If I wanted to get cheaty about it, I guess I could use my wife and her stream and be like, oh, my wife is streamed with this one person who knows this person, and get to a big streamer, I'm sure, pretty quickly.
Right.
But
right.
Other than that, I don't really have anything.
The only thing I can think of is through my church. So I go to a church where my pastor is really well known. Mm-hmm. I go to what's considered a mega church. Yeah, he's super great. Totally like has the Holy Spirit for sure. But I could turn that into like I know people at church who know him personally. Then you can turn around and say he's met like all kinds of different people. Like he has John Maxwell, who is a renowned leadership coach and author, to our church all the time. And so, you can connect him to people like that. We're about to have Pastor Jimmy Evans for our marriage conference. And then Jimmy Evans is the pastor of another pastor that I really enjoy named Mark Driscoll. So, like, yeah, I mean, I can connect it all kinds of different ways, but I don't know if I can go anywhere like Hollywood or whatever.
I guess I do have one. I mean, they're not a super largely famous person outside of their profession. And even in their profession, you think of other people first. But my wife's boss lives in the same neighborhood as a certain NFL quarterback.
Who you love.
Yes, a certain
You want to pet his hair.
long,
He's a pretty boy.
blonde-haired individual. Trevor Lawrence, for those who don't know. Yeah,
He goes to Waffle House after playoff games.
It's okay. You can say you want to pet his hair. We won't judge you.
I don't know about all that, but I mean, but then from there, I mean, he probably knows somebody like Stephen A. Smith or Pat McAfee if he's been on either of their shows, and then they know people like LeBron James.
Right.
So, I mean,
yeah. Like I worked with someone one time that was married to a former NFL player who went on to become a coach with the Tampa Bay Bucks. So I could then get to Tom Brady and Giselle, right? But can I
Right,
really? I mean, but can I really? So I
But
know
I mean,
somebody
like,
who
that's-
knows somebody. Like, am I really going to pick up the
that's
phone and
the
go, yo,
point of this, though.
right?
It's like, even though you don't personally know steps 3, 4, 5, and 6, it's the fact that you can get there because they know
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. So it kind of like takes me into how I really started going down this whole rabbit hole, other than the fascination with the Kevin Bacon thing. Doing what I do for a living, I work in
Bacon.
social media. Shut up. I work in digital strategies and online strategies, social media, marketing, that sort of thing. And so it's always amazing to me how quickly, if you can connect to the right people on social media, how quickly your presence online can change. How something will go viral, or you will become connected to or get an opportunity with somebody because you implemented a strategy or had a post or a video or some type of email campaign that reached someone who knew someone who knew someone. Because isn't that what they really say? It's not about what you know, it's who you know.
Right. It's also
Right.
like if you make a product, if you can somehow get it into the hands of like Ariana Grande or like Taylor Swift, people lose their minds over stuff like that.
Right. Like the girl, she's married to one of the other Chiefs players that made the jacket that Taylor Swift wore that everybody freaked out over. And
he was a Niners player. Kyle
Niners,
Juszczyk.
sorry. Yes. Juszczyk.
Yeah, his
Right.
girlfriend.
Right. And
Or
so
wife,
now
whatever, yeah.
I think she is his wife. But now, as a result of that, yeah, she got some big multi-million-dollar contract to design
With
these
the NFL,
jackets.
yeah.
Which, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. They're not my style.
Oh,
But
I think they're cool as hell.
They're cool. They're not my style. Like, it's not something I would wear, but I do think they're cool for that age bracket, which is clearly not me. But anyways.
In case anyone hasn't noticed, I've tapped out of this conversation because I know nothing about football, really.
Well, we're not talking about football. We're talking about how you know people who know people.
But you're talking about 6 degrees separated from football. Let's be honest.
No, I think we were only 1 degree away from football. So, but how about this, Jason? I mean, you spend some time on social media and on YouTube and places like that. I mean, do you see the impact of like how social? So when I look at you guys, right, specifically you, Hayden, you guys really have never known a lot of time where social media or, being able to send a picture over a cell phone wasn't a thing, right? There was a point, because I come from the dark ages, where that didn't happen, right? And so I think about how quickly you guys can get online and find information and find this person or get connected to that person. And, as you spend time on the social channels that you do, Jason, you don't notice that you start to see things that are connected. I guess patterns is a good way to put it.
Well, so what I end up seeing, and like I'm a YouTube Premium subscriber, and so oftentimes I look for like some long form videos that I can just turn the screen off and let it play and learn something about something stupid. So like I can listen to the entire history of Halo like I did today. Or I can...
You didn't have that memorized already?
Well, I did. It's just, it's good to hear other people's perspective, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll watch things like Wendigoon does, and I've mentioned his name a lot, but Wendigoon does a series of, or at least he did, series of what's called icebergs. And so on an iceberg, for those who don't know, there's a subject matter. So like there's an iceberg for like outer space, the deep sea, cryptids, conspiracies, all that kind of stuff. There's basically an iceberg for everything. So what it is there's a generic picture of an iceberg, and there's different terms all throughout the iceberg, and it goes deeper and deeper as it gets more obscure. And so the iceberg just has the terms on it. The point of doing an iceberg video is to explain all those terms. So when I look at stuff like that, I watch those long form videos. Sometimes people will allude to, and so made a video about this specific topic, diving way more in depth if you want to hear more about that. Sometimes I'll follow those lines, and then I'll find another creator that I highly enjoy, and I'll add them to like kind of my repertoire and listen to their videos all the time, and then so on and so forth. And I've gotten connected not directly to those individuals, but their content that I have come to really enjoy.
Yeah.
My generation calls that going down a rabbit hole.
That is literally what I am doing.
Right.
You, Jason, have actually gotten me, when I was way younger, you got me stuck on a series from Halo. Like, it was filmed in a Halo game called Red vs. Blue.
Yeah. Cinema.
And for so long, they had that series on. I don't know if they still do it or not, but it was made by a company called Rooster Teeth. And even just in that company, I have found so many forms of content and shows that I watch and or listen to. Like right now, I'm super big into one of their podcasts called Tales from the Stinky Dragon, which is just a D&D podcast. But I wouldn't have gotten there had I not listened to another one of their podcasts that I found from a YouTube channel of theirs, that I found from Jason showing me a little stupid Halo show that they were making just to have fun.
Well, and because I'm a Wendigoon fan, he's actually now featured prominently as a co-host on 2 different podcasts that I now highly enjoy, called The Red Thread, and the other one's called Creepcast. It's really fun. They talk about like conspiracy theories and cryptids and whatnot, and then they do scary stories. Like, the No Sleep subreddit, where they post all the scary stories on there. They pick some really prominent ones, and they read them and then discuss them. It's really interesting.
Well, and so if somebody who knows how do you say his name? Wendigo?
Wendigoon.
Okay, so if somebody can tell this person that he's drastically impacted Jason's life, then maybe we can get connected to him.
Very truly. And what's interesting is this kid is like Hayden's age.
Wow.
and like, I'm talking, he's an overnight sensation too. Like, he went from having like 20,000 subs to like having 1.2 million pretty much in less than a year.
So
if he can do it, we can do it.
I'm saying though.
Right. And so, but you're talking about kind of that social aspect that I dig into when I work with clients, and we're looking for the way to go from point A to point C for them, or, beyond. It's how do we get connected to the people who have a bigger following or a
Deep
bigger
reach, yeah.
circle. Right. And I explain a lot of times to my clients, the effects of social media is like when you throw a rock into a lake or a pool, and it ripples out, and then you throw another one and the ripples start to cross over one another. That's the 6 degrees of separation, because as I was doing some more research on this, it specifically came out that there was, ran across something where there was a group of researchers like in the early 2010, 12-ish area that were doing some research that went on to become the foundation of the algorithms that are used on social media. Now, I don't think that's what they use anymore, because the algorithms they use now have lost their minds. But I think the algorithms they use now are designed to keep you small, honestly. But I just find it
literally, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of go ahead.
Algorithms, especially on TikTok, have gotten me into a spot that I'm not mad that I'm at, but it's like I want to break out of it. Right? I've never in my life watched a single WWE wrestling match from start to finish. But I am so invested in this storyline right now with Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and The Rock. But I'll never watch it. I've never watched it. It's only on TikTok. I see the promos and what happens, and I'm so invested. And now I'm just stuck on it because I watched one TikTok about it.
So since you're relating that to kind of like a semi-social media platform, I want to point out that like every time I open X, which was formerly Twitter, I am like bombarded with like the most heinous stuff like you can think of. Like I'm not seeing like or anything, but it's really trying to push like and like fight videos
if you scroll
and like
far enough.
Just weird. No, here's the thing. I have never sat down and like watched one of those videos start to finish, whatever. But somehow it is now convinced that that is all I want to see. So literally when I see those, I will block the page, but it'll still get suggested over and over and over again. And it's really bothersome to me. I don't know why that's happening.
But that is the foundation of their algorithm, right? So they have somehow or another, and this is just speculation on my part, I don't know this factually about Twitter, X, Elon, or any of those other people that may be or not associated with it. They have done their research and cross-reference all these degrees of separation and have come up with a common platform that they feel like more people than not want to have be their starting point. So because me either, I don't go on X often either. I talk too much to be on X. I mean, I can't say anything in 140 characters, so I don't even bother. But they use that as their basis because they have determined that that is the median interest of their constituent base. Whereas like Hayden's talking about like on TikTok, for me, it depends. When I first log on, it'll start showing me videos of, I rarely follow people. There are a couple on there I follow. So it'll start off with their videos. And if I watch one, say I watch a video from start to finish of a creator I follow who is in a dance competition, right? And I watch it all the way through.
Creepy Dave.
Right. Creepy Dave. I love Creepy Dave. Then I start getting dance videos and I'm like, why am I watching all these dance videos? But then I realize if I don't engage with them beyond the threshold mark, which is usually like 6 to 7 seconds for it to count as an impression, if I can just skip right on by it, that it'll start to break, it'll start to reset. And then all of a sudden I'm filled with Creepy Dave or golden retrievers or, people falling off ladders because that's funny to me.
It's the best favorite animal.
It's the best.
Today's best favorite animal is Monkeys Unfiltered podcast. It's a great podcast.
There's way too good at that.
There's middle monkey and the mama monkey and the little monkey. We have lots of fun.
Creepy Dave, if you're listening, we want to be on your show. We want to be your best favorite animal. Yay.
I'm just really good at impressions. That's all. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. a minute.
That was really
I
good.
I told y'all I'm a really intelligent parrot.
Okay, how are we 6 degrees separated from Creepy Dave? That's what I want to know, because how do we do that?
I don't even know who. I don't even
1
know
degree.
who he is.
Wait, I think his name is like Frank something. I don't know.
I think you're right.
You know that, right? So because I need to catch my breath, I'm going to bring us back to a little bit of a scientific basis here. I thought that I read somewhere too that the scientific mathematical string that came out of this 6 degrees, which is huge and long, and this is probably not the first time, nor will it be the last time, that I freely admit I don't have an adult relationship with math. So I'm not even going to try to break that all down, but they use it, that mathematical theory that came out of this 6 degree theory, to backtrack to like a patient zero. So like with the pandemic, which is, something recent for all of us, they would have employed a mathematical theory that came out of the theory of 6 degrees to go back to locate patient 1 in the pandemic, which I just find incredibly fascinating that people's brains work that way. Because mine doesn't. Not Anthony Fauci. Wait, are we 6 degrees separated from Fauci?
Probably.
Because if we were 6 degrees, we could get connected to a lot of people through Fauci, right?
Get connected for free.
Bruh. Education connection. Yeah.
No, wait, is that the same thing as conjunction junction? What's your function?
No.
Oh, y'all don't know that one?
I know what you're talking about, but those aren't related.
Oh, okay. And the
it's
one
just
about
those stupid early 2000s commercials.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Call J.G. Wentworth. 877 cash now.
I was gonna say 867-5309, but that's a different song.
That's a song, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the freecreditreport.com songs.
See, all
Those are
of this
all
is
pretty good.
all of it is 6 degrees from our conversation.
Technically, anything we talk about is 6 degrees.
That's the whole point, though. Like, you can stop and take anything in your life and break it down to what else is this connected to. And I just find it so interesting that people, especially, and again, post-pandemic, like, I'm okay with admitting that, that period of time where the world went on to lockdown and everybody, my favorite word in the entire world, pivoted and reimagined how to live their lives. And we started doing things virtually and on Zoom, and, content creation busted on the scene in a really big way because everyone was just looking for a way to be connected. And so when you step back from things and you start to really think about it, we all are really just doing whatever we're doing to connect, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. These are the weird things I think about at night when, my postmenopausal brain won't shut off and I've got the covers on, the covers off, the covers on, the covers off. I need a drink of water. I got to pee. And then all this stuff is going through my brain. Of course,
I lay it through menopause.
You very well may be.
That's what you're describing.
They have a test for that now. EPT now makes a test for menopause. You can find out where you are in menopause by peeing on a stick. I suggest you, when you go out to dinner tonight, you run by the drugstore and get one.
Well, I think as a 24-year-old male, I might have some problems with that test.
You never know. You never know. You never know. Okay, who wants to have a little bit of fun?
I do. Fun is fun.
Fun is fun. I feel like I win the contest with the coolest 6 degree conversation.
I can get to LeBron James, so I don't know.
I got to Tom Brady.
I can get to the Lord Jesus Christ, so.
In one movement.
I don't even need 6 degrees.
Right. I feel like we're playing. I could name that tune. I can get connected to Tom Brady in 3 movements. Right. So,
All right, what's
okay,
your fun?
let's do a little bit of the Oracle of Bacon. So just for reference point, and we'll share this in the show notes on Facebook, there is the same gentleman that I was talking about earlier that somehow or another is connected to that internet base of movie, whatever thingy, wrote this little game.
IMDb.
Yeah, that. Don't
It's not
ask
hard.
me.
It's just 4 letters.
Well, I mean, we all know I am also apparently dyslexic and can't say things in the right format, so we'll leave it at that, right?
Man, you got a lot of struggles going on.
I do. Okay. Anyhow, I believe that person, along with some other people, are responsible for writing this little computer game programming thing. And I think that it is maintained by the University of Virginia or West Virginia. I'll double check it and we'll share it on the Facebook. And we'll also put the link to the oracleofbacon.org where you can go have your own fun. So, Hayden has it pulled up. Yay. So this is pretty
I'm good at my
simple.
job.
Yeah, this is pretty simple, pretty basic. So when you land on this webpage, there's this photo of Kevin Bacon that I don't know, probably if he knew it was up there, he would want to change it out for something a little more flattering. And they're
this one or the
either.
No, the middle one.
Either. The one up top ain't too hot either. So, but basically there's 2
That's
boxes. One of them is pre-filled with Kevin Bacon. And then the word 2 is in between the boxes. And in that second box, you get to choose any person and put in that box. And it will tell you how that person is connected to Kevin Bacon. And we discovered the other day when we were kind of playing around with this, that there can be more than one way to be connected to Kevin Bacon. So
I think there is a caveat with it that it has to be somebody who's been in a piece of media, like a movie or a TV show, though.
Right. I mean, like you can't put your great aunt Kathy in there.
Right.
In the description here, it says you can connect it to any other actor from the top 1,000 centers of the Hollywood universe.
Yeah.
So I guess IMDb or whatever has done that for you.
Right. So all of this is connected. They run all of this information out of there, I think is what I read.
Yeah, and you also
point,
can't put your great aunt Kathy in there.
Right. I was going to say the point still remains. Great aunt Kathy is not going to pop up. So, all right, let's choose somebody. Pick somebody pretty. Who are you typing? George Clooney.
George Clooney.
You do it. And I'm going to do it at the same time. See if we get the same.
Whoa.
One thing.
Literally
One thing?
just George Clooney, Kevin Bacon. What is that in the
8?
middle? Who's in 8?
8.
I've
I
never
guess the
even heard of
movie
that.
8.
That's the
Haven't
same thing
either.
I got.
It is from 2012. It has Kevin Bacon, Matt Bomer, George Clooney, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Huh. Never even heard of that.
That sounds
movie.
like a decent cast.
Huh. Okay. Try somebody a little more. Let's try somebody a little more. Try Kathy Bates, the chick from Misery.
Well, it's a chick from a lot of things.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I went to Misery because why not? Oh.
Kathy Bates was in Love Liza with Joanne Pankow, who was in Digging to China with Kevin Bacon.
Apparently Kevin Bacon has been in a lot of movies I've never heard of.
Yeah, I mean, before Nicolas Cage, there was Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about the fact that the top line says Kathy Bates has a Bacon number of 2.
Right. I would like to have a Bacon number. I mean, is that the number you call for Bacon? Oh, just that's how many movements she is. Okay,
so
got it.
for me, the number of Bacon strips is like 15.
That's
like
my
that.
husband too. My husband too.
All right, you choose one now, Jason.
Jason, yeah. you choose
I think I saw George Clooney or not George Clooney. I'm sorry. I meant to say I saw George Lucas up there. Beside George Lucas.
George Lucas was in Hook with Dustin Hoffman, who was in Sleepers with Kevin Bacon.
All
Yeah.
right.
George
Okay.
Lucas.
George
was in
Lucas was
Hook.
in Hook?
Was he in Hook, or I was going to say
That's what it says.
He might have done like a small cameo or something, like
Maybe.
a background character just to
Yeah.
be involved.
who's that guy? So not only do I not have an adult relationship with numbers, I'm also phonetically challenged. So M. Night Shyamalan, who's in all of his movies as well.
Yeah.
Does George Lucas do that?
Shyamalan.
Yeah, how do you actually say his last name? I don't want to be disrespectful.
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
It's way less difficult than you made it.
So,
But the way I say it is fun.
so I'm looking at the cast and crew. George Lucas was in an uncredited role as man kissing on bridge, and you'll never
Okay.
guess who is in the other uncredited role as woman kissing on bridge.
I'm scared.
Carrie Fisher.
I almost said
wow.
Carrie Fisher. Dang it. I almost said Carrie Fisher.
Jimmy
about
Buffett
that?
is in an uncredited role as well as the shoe stealing pirate.
Jimmy Buffett?
Yep.
Aw. That's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
let me try. Let's try a female. How about I tried
We're
some
just going to forget about Kathy Bates.
No, we did her.
Yeah.
I
Did
know,
we?
but he's like, yes, we did.
Oh. Okay, so Debbie Allen. So Debbie Allen, if I am recalling this correctly, is the sister of Felicia Rashad, who was Mrs. Huxtable on The Cosby Show. I mean, Debbie Allen has her own fame, too. She's a Broadway person. So Debbie
She
Allen
was in
was
Fame
yep.
with Richard Belzer, who is in The Big Picture with Kevin Bacon.
Richard
Okay.
Belzer, isn't that Munch, Detective Munch?
Yes, but check this out. Remember how I said sometimes there's more than one way to get to Kevin Bacon? Debbie Allen was in The Kids from Fame from the Royal Albert London Hall with Carlo Importo, who was in Enormous Changes at the Last Minute with Kevin Bacon.
I don't think we've gotten further than 2.
I don't think so either. We need somebody who's I want a Bacon number of 6.
Okay.
LeBron
I'm going to roll with
James.
LeBron James, fresh on the mind.
Somehow or another they were both in what's that basketball movie
2.
with Bugs Bunny? 2.
Space Jam. But
Yeah.
LeBron James has a Bacon number of 2. He was in Trainwreck with Matthew Broderick, who was in She's Having a Baby with Kevin Bacon.
Is it Matthew Broderick married to Sarah Jessica Parker?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Huh.
I clicked
right,
on
let's-
his thing and like I know his face, but I don't know his movies, you know.
So I'm going to try something really obscure and try Charlie Chaplin, who is for those of you who don't know, long past silent film star.
Silent film. Yeah.
So Charlie Chaplin was in A Countess from Hong Kong with Tippi Hedren, who was in Jane Mansfield's Car with Kevin Bacon. And I'm assuming
That's the
that's a
exact
movie.
one I got.
I'm assuming that's a movie and not Jane's actual car. And speaking of Munch, Jane Mansfield is Olivia Benson, played by Mariska Hargitay's mom.
Oh, yeah.
You just
See?
said a
6
bunch of names that meant nothing to me.
Because you don't watch Law and Order. We're 6 degreeing all over the place here.
So I have another website, actually. It's called Connect the Stars, where
Mhm.
you actually get to make the connections. So
I have to use my brain and think.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
out.
this is going to be a
I'm
stretch
out.
for me.
me and one of my friends at work, we actually do this to each other quite often. We'll just give each other 2 actors and be like, connect them however you can. And then I ended up finding this website, and sometimes I'll just sit here for 45 minutes to maybe 5 hours doing it.
So that's why you haven't
Oh.
edited the last episode yet.
And I'm going to tell you, since we've started recording this podcast, I have found out exactly how you two boneheads spend your free time.
To be fair, I always make it known to you how I spend my time.
Yes, true. Yes, true.
So I have it loaded up here with, I feel like, two actors who are relatively not easy to get together, but they've been in a lot of films, and that's Nicolas Cage and Will Ferrell. So,
I've got one for each of these.
all right.
So Nicolas Cage was in Gone in 60 Seconds, like arguably my favorite movie, even though it's pretty bad. I just love it.
Fair enough.
And then Will Ferrell was in Step Brothers, like the good old silly movie.
So, and I am not, what's the other guy that's in that movie with him?
John C. Reilly.
Not a huge fan of either one of them. I mean, I don't make it a secret that that's not my
But
favorite
together.
kind of movie, but I love that movie, Step Brothers.
So now our next goal would be to find an actor from each of these movies that we then could possibly connect into one movie between those two.
Ooh.
So I mean, like from Step Brothers, I feel like the next choice would be John C. Reilly, but then you would also have to think about Gone in 60 Seconds and who's in that.
Oh, I don't want to think that hard. But while you guys are thinking, I do want to go back and make sure that I'm giving accurate information about the Oracle of Bacon. It is a website maintained by the University of Virginia's Computer Science Department.
So wait a minute. What are we trying to accomplish here?
So now we need actors from each of these movies that we can get one step closer to each other. So I have the cast of Gone in 60 Seconds pulled up because there's a lot of people in that movie and it might get hard trying to remember everybody. Whereas I feel Step
I didn't
Brothers
know you
is
could
really
look.
good.
Well, and I'll tell you, Gone in 60 Seconds is full of a lot of people who you don't know their names, but as soon as you see their face, you go, "Oh, that guy!"
Yeah, like
Well, and I didn't
like
know
I
you were
know
allowed
Christopher
to pull up the
Eccleston.
cast.
I don't know that you're really allowed to, but I mean we're not trying to be here all day.
Wow, I thought
but
you were
like-
supposed to. I was impressed. I thought you guys just knew this stuff.
Oh, I did. Like I said, Gone in 60 Seconds is my favorite movie. I know
Right?
pretty much
Okay.
everybody in it.
Fair enough.
To be fair, though, it's again one of those situations like I don't necessarily know their names, but I could point them all out in the lineup.
So Will Patton isn't.
He's in Armageddon.
Yeah, I think that's what I know him from.
To be fair, he's in a lot of stuff.
Can
but-
it only be one more step, or can we do two steps?
It can be as many as we need. It doesn't have to be within 60 or anything like
So, yeah,
that. Or within 6.
Let's go with Will Patton and then like Richard Jenkins from Step Brothers.
Well, because wasn't Seth Rogen in Step Brothers as well?
No.
No, I don't think so.
I'm
And
looking
then
at
who
him on
from
the.
Step
He
Brothers?
I see him on the cast.
If he was, it was a bit part.
Yeah,
Who'd you
it
want
was,
to go with
but he
from
was,
Step Brothers, Jason?
but he was still in it.
Richard Jenkins, the father.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he was in there. He was just a sporting goods like associate or something.
Right. I mean, but if you can make a connection, you can make a connection.
It's a bit part, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
Richard
So,
Jenkins.
With Richard Jenkins, I don't know much about him, but he was in the Jack Reacher movie apparently with Tom Cruise. So that could be a way to
Who's
go.
the other guy on 60 Seconds?
Will Patton.
The other guy?
Will Patton.
Oh.
We'll take a screenshot of this when we're done and share it on Facebook as well in the episode
Yeah.
notes.
So we're doing this until the strings connect, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so
He was
Let's
in
see.
Remember the Titans with Denzel. I feel like Denzel and Tom Cruise could be pretty easy.
wasn't Will Patton in that too? Or am I making that up?
And Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm on Will Patton movies right now.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Richard
were talking about
Jenkins
Richard
was
Jenkins.
in Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so we're going with Jack. Okay. I got it. Jack Reacher.
I've noticed I've noticed about this, it's all about getting to the biggest well-known people you can.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Denzel and Tom Cruise, they've had to have been in a movie together, right?
You would think
And I'm
so.
sure there's someone somewhere yelling, "Oh my God, they've been in this. How do you not know it?" You know?
Right. It's obvious.
Everybody knows.
Face Off and Spy Thriller Collateral.
Okay, I've never heard of this movie. The
I've
Matrice
never
Circle.
heard of this movie either. Yeah. Tom
Both-
Cruise and Jamie Foxx were in The Collateral.
Tom Cruise and Denzel Washington were both in the Matrice Circle.
Oh, okay. Well, it didn't take it, so.
Huh. Okay.
So I mean, they're in the Matrice Circle together. I don't know why it won't take it for us,
Yeah, maybe they've
but
never.
they are in it
heard of
together. But I mean, that's a big old line. So
That is a big line. Can we shorten
to
it?
Nicolas Cage to Will Ferrell.
That is kind of crazy.
All right, well, that was Connect the Stars then. But
Which we did not actually achieve.
We got
according
close
to
enough.
Yeah.
We can't help it that Connect the Stars doesn't know what the Matrice Circle is. But in all fairness, neither did any of us.
So, would you remind me what the website is so I can use it?
connectthestars.xyz.
We will share.
Oh, so there's like
it's a weird
there's
thing.
like viruses all over this thing, I'm sure.
But we'll be
I
sure
think
to,
it just
XYZ.
I think it just has to do with the way it's coded.
we'll be sure to
Yeah.
post that on Facebook as well, too. All kinds of bonus goodies coming this way or coming y'all's way this week.
Man, wow, this is a really fun topic, dude.
Yeah.
It was
had
fun. It
fun
was
with
different. It was different. Hey, and before we go, you guys, it's Monkey Mischief. Does anybody
What you got?
remember?
What you got this time for us?
Did anybody check it out? The joke on social media? So I typically
did not because
Yeah,
of the way
well.
time works.
because of
It
the way
would spoil it if I did. So
well, Lord knows we don't want you spoiling anything. Okay, so if you did happen to swing by, you saw that I started the week off on Monday saying, my hamster died. He fell asleep at the wheel.
He went flying off that thing, didn't he? Oh, man.
I love a good dad
That's
joke.
a good one.
Again, if you want to be considered to have your joke read on air, just submit your joke via our website at www.monkeysunfiltered. If I do select your joke for on air, we will send you a Monkeys Unfiltered sticker.
Sticker?
Sticker. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out for the last, 45 minutes or so while we indulged ourselves in a little bit of brain chatter and then some stupid fun. I always enjoy having this time together with you guys.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed this
Yeah.
a lot.
This was really enjoyable. I was skeptical of like how are we going to make that entertaining, but like certainly I was entertained.
Well, I'm glad you were entertained. That is, I can die happy now. I have entertained my children. Of course, that's what I have been doing most of my life. But anyhow, our thanks to the listeners again for tagging along with us this week. Be sure that you are liking and following us on social media. We really appreciate that support. And be sure that you are subscribing and following along wherever you get your podcast. Until next time.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Monkeys Unfiltered. If you enjoyed our jungle of ideas, please return next week and be sure to follow us on all the socials at Monkeys Unfiltered.
I'm sitting here trying to put my notes down, and I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how to spell use check.
Who cares?
Well,
You'll figure
just
it out.
spell it however you want. It's your notes.
Just say the dude with the
I
girl
know,
with the
but-
girlfriend that makes jackets.
I know, it's just funny.
Just literally
Like,
say YOUSCHECK.
see, that's the
Usually-
thing. It starts with a J.